Right, American football, NFL fantasy finals recap. The biggest thing, obviously, Damar Hamlin, wish him all the best, hope he makes a speedy recovery. It sucks when you see something like that. I love the physicality of that sport, of the NFL. It's what draws me to it, but it really sucks seeing a young athlete in their prime going down like that to something as scary as a cardiac arrest. So I hope that he does make a full recovery. Apparently he is now talking and things are looking good. Obviously it had a huge impact on some of the fantasy finals because there were some big time players that got officially 0 points. So I'll be taking a look at what our league has decided to do regarding that. I'll be interested to see in the comments what is your league doing regarding those zeros. There are lots of different ways that commissioners could do it. Obviously, the official stance is that they get 0. So are you staying with the official stance, or what is everybody doing? I'm going to be going through what we're going to be doing in the league pending full league approval. I do always put it to a vote. But yeah, and then we'll be taking a look at the winners and losers from the last week in the NFL Fantasy for 2022, as well as looking forward to how the playoffs are shaping up in 2022. Let's start off with talking about, obviously, Damar Hamlin. Wish him all the best, really do. But it's interesting, actually, because you get a lot of emphasis on the head trauma. But obviously their organs must take a real battering as well. Some of those hits must not do great stuff for some of your internal organs. This is the first time I remember seeing anything as catastrophic as this kind of happening. But there is probably something that should definitely be noted, maybe an eye kept on it. But let's have a look at how the Orion Bowl fantasy has played out. What I've proposed that we do is that we use it because it won't let me add an extra game. So because we were thinking about doing like a 2-leg final, and anyone that had players getting getting their scores added from the 2 weeks, but it won't let me do that because we're not set up for that as a league. So we're going to go. I think the best thing to do really is to go with the predicted scores. I mean, obviously there are a couple of schools of thought here, aren't there? Because yes, it's unprecedented, and yes, it kind of feels screwy that one team will get like zeros. For instance, when you look at the final in my league, I was in the final against Baby Got Dak, and I was winning going into Monday night by like 0.8. But so I'd already resigned myself to losing because he's got Josh Allen and Stefan Diggs, and I've got obviously Tyler Bass as the kicker. And then obviously because all those got zeroed, then the league actually announced me as the winner. So the question is, do we kind of overrule what the app is saying? And, because obviously, ideal world, I'd say yes, it might be my first championship. I want to win. I want to get a win. I want to get my hands on one of those Orion Bowl rings. But realistically, it's kind of like, because there are a couple of schools of thought. Yes, okay, it's unprecedented, but is it? And it is different to like players going injured. But if somebody gets injured in the first quarter, your running back gets stopped for a loss, and they go off in the first quarter, that's tough titties, isn't it? So why is this being treated quite so radically differently? And obviously there's the flip side of it of, well, this is unprecedented. It wasn't due to an injury, it's due to a cancelled game. So there needs to be something done about it. But on the flip side, it's almost like, well, if it was a race, let's say it was like a Formula 1 race, I was ahead and the race got red flagged, and that would make me the winner. But yeah, I don't know. To try and keep everybody happy, I'm putting it to a league vote. My stance on it is that we should use the predicted, which would give my opponent the championship. I will give up the championship. That is fine because my team were absolutely shit in the championship anyway. In the final game, they really didn't cover themselves in glory, and so I'd already resigned myself to a loss. But obviously, with that being said, if we are going to go with predicted, that does mean if it happens in the future, if there is a cancelled game in the future, then we will be sticking with that same rule. I'm giving up a championship. I'm not having the rule changing after that point. We will have a precedent, and that's what it will be going forwards. So let's have a look. So the fantasy final, basically, if you look at the projected, Allen was predicted 19.63, Diggs 8.78, and that was who Baby Got Dak had zeroed on their lineup. And I had the kicker, Tyler Bass, for 5.74 predicted. So the total adjusted score, I got 72.46, and Baby Got Dak wins the Orion Bowl final with 94.51. Congratulations, Baby Got Dak. I've already sent you a picture of the Orion Bowl ring so that you can select which one that you would like, and I'll get that posted out to you. Yeah, hell of a season. Done some trades. Done a lot of trades. You love a trade. And were there some questionable trades? Sure there were. Have you now triggered some anti-Dak legislation within the league? You betcha. Yeah, because there are some rules coming in place. No more postseason trades. There will be a trade deadline at week 16 or 17, I think. Yeah, week 16, there is going to be a trade deadline. Also, new rule, everyone in our league, you've got to have a custom picture or a custom logo or something. I'm tired of looking at these generic helmets with the little NFL logo on. It sucks. Sort it out. Get yourself, but it won't let me edit Baby Got Dak's picture, because I did joke because there was a really questionable trade in the playoffs before the semi-finals, and so I did joke that if Baby Got Dak won the whole thing, I would change his picture to the Hamburglar because he's stolen the championship. I still do somewhat feel that way. I do feel like that trade was kind of one-sided and a little underhanded, but it was within the rules in the place at the time, so commendable, and it went through. We need it, really. I blame the Legion of Mixon for all of this. The owner of the Legion of Mixon is the only one that didn't vote, and we needed one more vote to veto the trade. It wouldn't have made a difference to my final anyway, and I don't think it would have made a difference to the semi-final, in fact. So, yeah, it's all semantics, but I don't know, it's quite funny. I just thought, because stole the championship, but it won't let me change his picture. So, if I could just put any fucking picture in there, just, to liven it up. We've got 2 teams in our league with just literally that stupid NFL helmet. It sucks. It stinks. So, yeah, sort it out, guys. That's going to be, a new rule. And, so yeah, Baby Got Dak wins the title. The other game that was questioned with the zeros, you had the coach's sons taking on the San Diego Harlots, and the additional predicted points for the coach's sons put him up to 111.24, and that didn't take him up to beat because where is it? Yeah, Burrow. No, because Jamar Chase was the only one that you had, Sons, with 9.58. So if you add that to your current score, it takes you up to 111.24, which doesn't beat the Harlots. So the Harlots get that draft pick and they get another win in the postseason. The Legion of Mixon had a lot of players to play. He had Burrow, Mixon, and El McPherson, not the model. The model turned kicker, El McPherson. So total predicted points for Legion of Mixon took him up to 99.88, because you had 19.25 for Burrow, 12.10 for Legion, and 6.93 for Mixon, and 6.93 for the kicker. So that didn't beat the team with no Namath, 115.98. So the team with no Namath win the Toilet Bowl, thereby they don't get the trophy and they get the #1 pick of the draft next season. Congratulations to you, sir. And that brings me on to the 2023 draft order. So the draft order for 2023 is going to be pick 1. We're going to have 2 new teams. Currently, it's looking like 2 new teams, so we'll move to a 10-man league format. We have 2 keepers, so obviously the 2 new teams will get 2 picks each before the draft starts as proper. But once the actual draft starts, you've got the team with no Namath, pick 1. Second pick, Legion of Mixon. Third pick, the Indianapolis Colts. Fourth pick, Dallas Stray Gorillas. Fifth pick, San Diego Harlots. Sixth pick, Coach's Sons. 7th pick, your Baltimore Ravens. And number 8 is going to be Baby Got Dak, the reigning champions as it stands, pending full league approval. So, we'll go through and have a look at... I've got an entourage. The final entourage of the season. Here we go. Just up here. The Vinny Chase Star Award has to go to Mike Evans, who Look, if he was putting up numbers like that for the Indianapolis Colts, he wouldn't have had such a rough season. But what I would say is the Colts did not finish bottom of the league in the regular season, and they've also had a pretty good postseason, netting themselves, like I said, the 3rd overall pick. That's pretty good. He's got some momentum going in as well. He can carry that over to next season. But Mike Evans, man, he was an absolute star of the show, wasn't he? 38.70, taking the Bucks and the Indianapolis Colts to a win. That is fantastic. The Johnny Drama Heavy Lifting Award has to go to Daniel Jones for Team with No Namath, because he did all of the heavy lifting. He put up all of the points for him. He was instrumental in keeping the toilet bowl trophy off of the mantelpiece of the Team with No Namath. And yeah, that was. I did say going into it, that was a good play. That was a very good play. Along with the Giants' defense, I thought was a good pickup. So then you've got the Turtle Better Than Expected Award. ETN was the main reason that Dak won in the final. Let's be fair, neither of our teams exactly did what we wanted them to do. Both of our teams had a poor week. Mine was just poorer than yours, in all honesty. And let's be fair, if you were initially going to be playing DeAndre Hopkins, could you imagine that? Could you imagine? You're so lucky that DeAndre got ruled out, because it looked like, I mean, you had him in your lineup, so I can only assume that you were going to play him. And then ETN goes off for 20 goddamn points, making me lose my 2nd Orion Bowl final in a row, keeping the rings off my fingers, making sure that I'm still without a championship, like however many years into this league we are. God damn it. Anyway, congratulations, Dad. Honestly, brilliant stuff. Like I said, congratulations to you. You've had a great season. You've done really, really well. Then you got the Ari Award goes to Austin Eckler, because he was all over the place. He was everywhere. He did everything. His range was limitless, just like the acting range of Jeremy Piven, taking the Harlots to another postseason win over the Suns, netting him that higher draft pick as well. And the Terribleness Award, it has to go to Slayton, really, because he let the Legion down. Anytime you're in a championship game, either the toilet bowl or whatever, you got a player doing minus points, that is a problem. Slayton, you were terrible, just like the character E from Entourage. So I guess moving on, the things I'm looking at, I mean, now that the fantasy season is over for me, it's just like, it's back to gambling, I guess. So the games I'm really looking forward to this weekend, you've got the Titans versus the Jags, because this one's like a win and in. So this one's got the most stakes, really, like a win and they are in the playoffs. I'm happy to see them both playing for contention, really. Obviously, I do lean towards the Jags because I've seen them more than any other team, really, because they come over to London quite a lot. You've got King Henry and ETN both in there. They're both good to watch. I do think that the Jags will probably edge it, because obviously they're still not at full strength. They haven't got their starting quarterback in. So I think I would take the Jags in that one. And then you've got the Jets versus the Dolphins, because all the Jets have left to do this season is ruin the Dolphins' chances of getting to the postseason. The Jets already ruined my fantasy, my NFL fantasy final. So, because they ruined it. They ruined my NFL fantasy final, because look at the numbers that Garrett Wilson and Bam Knight put up. But to be fair, I don't think that's all on Mike. Mike White, I don't think he was really fit, to be fair. I was dubious. I was like, how fit is he really? So I don't think that Mike White's going to start, because his ribs are still massively compromised, I believe. Flacco's likely to start, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, at the end of the day, maybe the Jets can ruin the Dolphins' day this weekend, like they did to me last weekend. And yeah, that is about it for not only this episode, but this fantasy season. I'll probably still I'll keep doing like a little video, like just previewing the games that I want to see, maybe who I'm picking for the Super Bowl, everything like that, because, you know, obviously there's still a lot of we're now entering like the business end of the season. You've got the playoffs coming up, then before you know it, it's the Super Bowl, and then before you know it, we're entering the start of the long off season again. So I just wanted to say to everybody in my league, thank you so much for taking part. Honestly, I have the best time. It's so much fun. It's it keeps me occupied, it's just a lot of fun. We have a really good bunch. We've got a really good group. Everyone takes part, everyone contributes, and it's just really, really good fun. And I enjoy it. And I look forward to trying to get the championship again next year. The quest continues. See you next time.